Hey, what's up guys? Charlie Zamora here with Captain Keels. I'm working with Nadeem today, and one of the things we're looking at right now is how can we increase front rack mobility. I know I've talked about a lot of things with the snatch and the clean jerk, but sometimes athletes can't get into the right position. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna test his front rack position. After we test his front rack position, we're gonna work solely on his right side and see the difference from these mobility drills, how they're applied for the front rack for a front squat or even a jerk, and then not work with the left side so we can see a contrasting difference, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and have Nadeem grab the barbell. Okay, so what would you say is a big issue for you for your cleans or front squats or jerks? Is it literally just keeping the bar on your shoulders?
I mean, especially for front squats, I really can't because everything I'm doing, I'm grabbing and I'm falling forward.
Okay.
You know, so I have like literally no front rack position.
Okay, cool. So this is something that can help us just get in a better position. Some of that collapsing is because he's not able to maintain the right body position through the movement. It's because the weight is in the wrong place, okay? So what we're gonna do right now is just see what your front rack looks like. Okay, so not super bad. This would actually be a decent position to jerk from, but what we're noticing is that his contact levels here for being able to hold weight is not as great as if he was going to try to front squat. But you actually want these elbows to come through into the front squat, which would be a better position to receive the clean. So what we're going to do is we see where he's at now. Okay, we're going to have him rack the bar, and then we're going to go over some mobility drills. So we're going to work solely on the right side. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start from the wrist to the forearm, from the forearm to the tricep, from the tricep right into the lat. And we're going to work primarily on this right side. So if you were to find a good surface, such as the cage here from the rack, what I want him to do is if I come over here, put that bar down, yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have him take his hand here, extend, push, straighten out the arm, and then just give himself a good stretch through his forearm. We'll do the front side, let's see it. So he's gonna push in through this palm and get a really good stretch.
It's already really tight.
They're already really, really tight, right? So we'll do this and we'll go back and forth of doing this. So basically like, we'll do 3 holds for about 20 to 30 seconds. And he's really just trying to move around, push into it. We'll just do it kind of gently right now because we're gonna get through this video, right? After there's like 3 times of that, we'd also have him do the opposite. So just the back of his wrist and then pushing this way as well, just to kind of loosen everything up. So about 3 times, 20 seconds, moving around. You can contrast from front to back, whatever you want to do. Or like 3 from the front, 3 from the back, as long as we're getting that in, okay? So that's one of the things we're gonna focus on. That's just something for the wrist, all right? And remember, we're gonna kind of speed through this, so you would spend more time, so it'd be even better. But I'm gonna have him grab the bar, rack it. Next, we're gonna work right into his forearm. So the whole forearm, we wanna look at a lot of this meat. A lot of times, because we're pulling on bars so much and we're so tight, that this kind of gets locked up, which is gonna inhibit front rack mobility. So what I'm gonna have him do here is he's gonna take the clean part of the bar, not the knurling, because we're not meat, clean part of the bar, and then what I want him to do is starting from here all the way into the forearm, he will just push and just trying to find knots, find things that are kind of crappy, right? So he'll just roll around. I'm kind of helping beating him up. Now this is not even the deep part. As we work all the way up, what we can do then is just move inch by inch and then work things that are tight. Now, if you don't have me and you're by yourself, what he would do is just apply pressure by pushing down, and he can start kind of going back and forth. What you're gonna find is like little knots, little tight areas, things that start jumping around or moving or don't feel good. You wanna kind of sit on those things as much as possible, and that's where it's gonna release a lot of that tension, okay? So definitely as we get into here, he can work this main part here, he can even roll to the inside here, he can work closer to the outside of the arm, just looking and trying to find those little areas that are kind of creating a sticking point for our sliding surfaces. Now what I would do here is you would spend as much time as you have, so we know that we have to get both arms. So we might spend more time, but depending on our training session, less time. For purposes of today, making sure this video is kind of flowing, we'll say that's kind of enough for that.
Yeah.
The next thing we want to find is the tricep, and we want to find the meat close to where it attaches right here, okay? So right at like the insertion point. And we'll work the tricep all the way down to where it connects here. So we're gonna work the entire tricep. Things that you can do. You could have your arm straight and just work it, right? And then you could also work it through range of motion like this.
God.
So go ahead and do different aspects of that, and then move side to side. Really just find some things that are kind of nasty in there. You'll notice too, like it'll kind of jump around and move.
Oh, that's
right
painful.
there, right? All of it's kind of nasty. So I'll jump in real quick because I'm here. what we'll do is we'll keep him here. I'm gonna find something myself that doesn't feel good. So like right in here, doesn't look good, right on the outside of the elbow. And then I could also work through that range of motion there, right? Usually right in here is pretty nasty, okay? That doesn't feel good. Definitely a lot of fun, okay? But a lot of times, like right in here is where you're gonna catch a lot of it because it's where both tie in. You're gonna catch that restriction. So a lot of times too, where things connect is it's like you have two rubber bands. So if you're taking those rubber bands and you're spinning them, that tension's gonna isolate and kind of bind up. So if we release that tension, it's gonna make it nice and smooth again. So we have to find those areas and just kind of break them down. So we've done wrist stretches, a forearm rollout, all the way through. We've done a lot of the tricep. The next thing we work into is right here in the lat. Because a lot of times the ability for the elbow to come through in the front rack is this is so bared down and so tight that it's not releasing for him to get in that nice rack position. So this muscle right here, he's got a big one too. This muscle right here, this lat, what we're gonna do is just work our way right into it. And then from there, you could do two different kinds. You could just roll side to side, work up and down. You could also go through ranges of motion with your arm as you go through. So let's see him do some side to side work throughout his whole lat. And he'll find some things that don't really feel good. How do you feel during this? Are you finding those like little spots that don't feel as good as others?
Yeah, I mean, everything hurts.
Yeah. But there's definitely gonna be certain parts where you hit something and you're like, oh shit, that is something. Then from there, once you find that like kind of like little nasty spot, that's where you wanna sit and then try the variations of movements, whether it's extending, moving, rolling, whatever it is.
Okay.
Just trying to loosen that stuff up.
Yeah, I got a spot right here.
Right there? Good. You can have someone come and squish you. Push into it. So what are some limiting factors? I was speaking with you earlier, and Nadim's a very strong athlete, very strong individual. So, like, best squat ever?
585.
Okay, and then best front squat?
300.
Okay, so that's a huge variance there, right?
Yeah.
Over 280 pounds pretty much.
Yeah.
So the issue is not leg strength. We have to look about stability and position to move. So if the bar is in the front rack position, which means it's resting on the front side of his body, on a back squat, it's right over the base of support or strength, which is your spine. So it's a little bit easier to fight. It's a little bit easier to fight through those things. Now in the front rack, if he doesn't have a good base of support, it's how much he can balance. Sorry, it's how much he can balance, okay? So what we have to do is find the best ability to create this rack up here for Nadim. So let's see with just the short amount of time that we worked our wrist stretches, our forearm rollout, our tricep rollout, and our lat rollout, let's see what differences we see in his front rack. Okay, so now what you can see, he has huge shoulders. This barbell's not going anywhere. Whereas this side, straight down, it's able to fall. Now with this rack, if we're able to have both of those, there's no reason he couldn't hold this weight with a good base of support and be able to squat whatever it is that he's willing to squat. Because what our issue right now is the limiting factor is not leg strength, it's position. If we're able to get in the right position, we're able to make big weights happen, right? Do you feel like this helped you out a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I need to do it on my right side, on my left side for sure, but I feel like the switch from powerlifting to weightlifting, I neglected everything that I needed to do in powerlifting to get strong in weightlifting, you know? So like doing front squats, doing more mobility would have helped me a lot in powerlifting also if I did it, but I didn't really necessarily need it. Yeah. You know? No, so now coming into weightlifting, I'm seeing all the problems and being able to fix them and becoming stronger in those parts.
Yeah, I think another thing too that Nadim's kind of experiencing is that powerlifting requires technique, but a lot of things in powerlifting, you can still advance pretty fast just with brute strength. Kind of with Olympic weightlifting, if you're not in the right position, doesn't matter how strong you are, you're not able to do those things. Like we said, a 585 back squat doesn't translate into a 400-pound front squat because you have to have those specific positions in which to do that. So mobility is really a big issue. What's a good goal for you for the end of the year? We're about 4 months out for the end of the year. What would you like to front squat with better mobility?
Front squat, I'll say realistically maybe like 350, a little bit more. Yeah, 365.
There you go. Yeah. I think he'd creep up close to maybe even 400. We'll see what happens.
Hopefully,
but the big thing is that strength can only be manifested to a certain aspect or a certain part, lacking mobility and technique. So strength will only take you so far at those certain points. You hit those sticking points. The point is not always just getting stronger. It's finding the strongest position to be in to help complement your strength. When your technique, your positions, and your mobility kind of pair up with your overall strength, that's when you see high-end athletes moving some really, really big weights. And for Nadim, I'm really excited to see what he can do in better positions.
concentric.
Where are they? There they are.
Concentric is like the way up of the lift. The way up of the shortening of muscles. The eccentric is the way down. So weightlifting, way up. You don't follow it down. I mean, you follow it down for safety and rules.